Hello, my name is Melissa Hine. I'm the International Business Analytics Coordinator here at Colorado State University in the College of Veterinary Medicine and Biomedical Sciences. I'm very excited for you to join me in this presentation with eThority. You may be asking yourself, what is eThority and what it can do for my organization and me? eThority allows you to connect and collect your data from different sources into one so that you are able to data mine connected data. The system not only connects your information, but also allows the users to organize everything into one system rather than from each individual system. The system is also available online and web-based. eThority also is user interactive so that users can discover and answer their own questions at their fingertips. As with most organizations, security of the data is very important. The system allows users and organizations to securely publish and review their data. Users are also able to share their data and have a security model that allows the system to adapt to the current security of an organization. The system also allows users to continually update their reports by adding and deleting criteria to be the most effective by changing filtering and grouping. As with any organization, forecasting and predictive analytics is important in the decision-making process.
There's a lot of things that sold me on eThority. Ease of use was at the top of the list. The very first thing that I set forth was that any of our data mining tools had to be used at all levels, and it had to be a tool that satisfied all of our needs, from the receptionist who's sitting out front that just needs a telephone number to a medical clinical environment where they needed to data mine research and get the info back to make good decisions on it. You know, the impact has been great and broad. I think that is the most stunning thing, whether it is research information or it's clinical information or financial or human resource information. eThority has brought it all together in one product for us. If I go to one spot, I can find all the info I need. We're all looking at the same data, and it has had a major impact on how we do our business. Prior to that, everything was a single snapshot. I could look at one account only at one time, and then I'd have to write that down and have to go to the next account. Well, with 1,500 to 2,000 accounts, that costs you a lot of time. It's about $600,000 in personnel savings that we've realized with the eThority product. Now we can focus in on the larger picture instead of being bogged down with the detail. We have all of our clinical research and our clinical visits in eThority. We tie those right to the financial systems. We can do research across the breadth of all the data, and eThority presents it in such a way that it's easy for the end user to use, understand, and yet it gives us enough power so that management can make decisions. We've shaped data in different ways than has ever been conceived before because we've never had a tool that would allow us to do it this quickly. I don't necessarily have time to go in every day and say, well, where do we stand today? Or what issues have we had overnight with our data? eThority's smart enough that it can go tell me. For example, maybe I want to set up a report that says, when you have 10% left of your budget, I get an email so that I get a heads up of something that's about to occur. And if you can get that in the hands of a dean or a vice president or the president of the university where they don't have to go understand the very lowest level of the detail, but it wraps up in a visual way for them, it makes it so much easier to communicate your issues, your needs with the leadership. It's visually stunning and it's smart. Not only is it an easy product to use, you enjoy using it. That's probably been the biggest feedback I've received from our users about eThority. And when you're struggling in this economy, you're struggling with the budgets and keeping tuition as low as you can, one of those areas you got to look at is how can we automate processes using one-time dollars to save us those base funds over the long haul, and eThority has definitely proven out to do that.
Provided is an example of a basic eThority screen. This shows data books available along with the configuration of navigation. The next example is what the security screen is for eThority Architect to set up. It allows an organization to set up data locks and functional permissions on each individual user of the system. One of the greatest things about eThority is that one can connect data from multiple sources and join it. At CSU, we have data from our human resource systems in Oracle, our financial information from Quali, our veterinary teaching hospital data from Chimera, and our diagnostic laboratory data from StarLimbs as an example. The system allows users to import files in Excel and CSV. The information from all these data sources is connected through the data request module. unique keys are identified to join the tables. There are three main focuses of eThority for a user to utilize this program. By understanding group, sort, and filter, one has 75% of eThority learned. This slide shows the standard group, sort, and filter when one brings up a data book in eThority. What is grouping? Grouping will allow a user to group the data by column so that it is displayed and presented how the user has defined. Please look at the red arrow that displays the grouping screen. As you can see, it is grouped first by the employee group, then name, then type of employee. From this screen, you will see the first grouping of employee group. The next slide shows how once you expand the group by one by clicking the plus sign next to the employee group, it'll now show you the name of the employee. This next slide then shows the third grouping or third expansion of the data by once again clicking the plus by the name. This now shows the type of person that is on the report. The next component of learning eThority is sorting. Sorting allows the user to put the data in A to Z, 1 to 10, smallest to largest, etc., and the reverse order can also be done. An example of sorting is shown by the red arrow. It shows how the data is sorted by leave hours, then by months. This shows the leave hours from smallest to largest, then takes into account the months. Filtering allows the user to place limits on the data. Another way to think about this is like a funnel. You start with a lot of data and start refining it. Data can then be included or excluded. This allows the user to quickly answer their questions. The first example shows what a user is going to filter on. They want only the assignment department number of 1620 for employees with an active assignment status, fiscal year 2013, and for Admin Pro, other salaried employees, and state classified. By placing this information in the filter, it refines down the data only to those individuals. In eThority, the system administrator can set the filters to a pick list so a user can pick items they want to return rather than the user having to type in what they want in their filter. One of the great advantages to eThority is that the user can export their data to a PDF, Excel, CSV, or other type of file. Users can utilize that data by looking at how they prefer it. Please note that not all users can export, only if they are given permission through the security function. Sending a report can also be utilized. This allows a user to send the report to them, another eThority user, or a non-eThority user. There are many functions of the sending permission. One can send the report now so that the user receives it within the next few minutes. One can schedule the report for the future or schedule it at the same time on a weekly or monthly basis. Please note that if this is sent to another eThority user, based on their eThority permission, they will only see their information aloud. If someone chooses to send to a non-eThority user, that person will see the report just like what the author did. We do caution people about this category. As with exporting, a user can only send if they are given permission through the security function. Printing can be done through eThority to a PDF or Excel file, just like the exporting feature. Dashboards are a quick way to interact with the data by customizing your dashboard for items that are up to date with key metrics. This data is at a quick glance without having to massage the data. The import screen is eThority's way of displaying imported data. We can pull this dashboard up to view the number of rows, our nightly imports, or anything that has failed to import. This slide shows what information the National Institute of Radiological Sciences presented to eThority. This is an informational brochure they use during presentations. eThority was able to recreate this for the NIRS for the purpose of data validation. We are now working on utilizing eThority to do mapping, and some of the data we have received is for radiation mapping. This first set of data is just the raw radiation data with a couple of sorting and filtering adding onto it. The user can define the report how they need to. The next step is to export the data. Instead of exporting to PDF or Excel, we have what is called Presenter to set up and present the data how it is most effective. The presenter is then selected. eThority runs the SSRS, known as SQL Server Reporting Services, behind the scenes to create what the user needs. This is the initial map of radiation data. Our SSRS writer then took the data one step further to create legend information and interactive data. We would like to thank you for your time and joining us for our presentation on eThority. This is a tool that Colorado State University uses to make major business decisions. Please contact Melissa Hine for any further questions.